Good evening, everyone. Rob, it is an honor to have you as our speaker this evening. Last time you did it, we were in person at Yukon Health Center, but we've been in touch with each other, and that is absolutely wonderful. Every time I speak with you, I always learn something new. So thank you for that, and I'm going to give you the time to say all that you need to say within the time frame, and then people will ask questions. Rob, you're on.
I'm on. Look at that. How about that? Hey, for Beth and Tina, they know. I went out to play frisbee with my dog yesterday. I need to get a flatter dog. Anyway, if you think you're, yeah, you got it. Anyway, my name is Rob. That's my name, not my job. Okay. Little history. I was a licensed clinical therapist for 26 years, LCSW. Out of Manchester for 20, Memorial Hospital. I'm retired Air Force. I'm Vietnam vet. I'm ordained minister. I kind of scrabble the walk that it took. My has been since my my NDE January 1st, 1991. But I'll explain what happens when you have an NDE. You suddenly look back in your past to see how much you've been looked at and watched over, and things have happened good for you, and how much I think an NDE opens you up to possibilities that you may not see. Okay, and as I shared with other people in the past, some of it's kind of blown me away too when I shared it. Anyway, I've been looking at NDE since about 1976 when Dr. Moody came out with his book. One reason why is because I was wondering where the guys, what happened to the guys that were in Vietnam? Okay, you think about it. Where are they? What happened? So I really like this book. I never imagined I would be experiencing one. It's January 2nd, 1991, California. I'm engaged, who now she's my wife, but it's been almost 34 years. But we're engaged, and she's living in Riverside, and I'm living in Fullerton, California. So I left early in the morning. I was going to swing by, get the oil change, and get my wife and get her, not my wife, and get the oil change in her car. Well, the place was closed. They weren't going to open until noontime. So I figured I'd swing by there, go out for breakfast with her. We came around the corner. She was in a apartment complex, huge apartment complex. And they had a turn signal. That's how big it was. And I came down the road and it turned yellow. And we all know what that means, right? It means speed up. Okay? So I hit the gas and turned left into her driveway, and a box truck came at me. Hit me almost straight on. I think the car was a mess. It was a box truck. We were both going about 30 probably. He was accelerating. I had slowed down a little bit, but we're both clicking pretty good. I remember everything slowed down on that. I just, oh, this is it. I'm dying. This is going to be the end. And I just kind of said a quick prayer because I was still in real time. Everything else slowed down. So I had a quick prayer and said, watch out over her. That's my wife, you know. It's interesting because when I don't remember the crash, all I do is remember going through the top of the roof and both see myself go up and observe it myself. Okay, and I've heard since that's happened, but I can have both. Okay, I don't know. And I probably went up about, I don't know, maybe 200 feet, and I stopped. I was, okay. Now, I have this right. You don't panic, okay? I didn't panic at all. I thought, what's cool? Hey, man, this is great, man. Look at me, okay? And I stopped. I went, okay. Now, this is in L.A. I grew up in L.A. I hate palm trees. They look so ugly to me. I'll get to why. Now, my NDE is rather unique. Dr. Ring, when I mentioned it, he kind of looked oh, yeah. So anyway, I'm there about 200 feet. And right next to me is a great big giant function. That's not 200 feet, but the body of the tree was there. Wow, is that ever a pretty green? And I looked out and I could see the roofs and stuff brown, okay? I know that's red. Wow, look at the colors I'm seeing. And I got a very distinct message. It was all children are mine. And when I say children, I don't mean mine as possessive. It was origin. Okay? All children are mine, referring to origin. We're all from the divine. All right? And so the reason I think I was told that is prior to this, I had been a licensed Southern Baptist minister. In case you don't know about the Southern Baptist Convention, they don't believe that too. Okay? So it's like, whoa. I don't know. I remember looking up and I was excited and looked up and I saw way up high. You don't have to look up. You aren't seeing this. This is my finger going up. I saw this golden light. That's where I'm going. Oh, that was Rob's opinion. Okay. What the divine. So I don't know how long I was there. I just know all of a sudden I'm flashed back in the car and I'm bleeding. And I'm going, oh, going didn't hurt at all. Coming back didn't feel good at all. All right? Tina said, coming back, you can have it. I'd go next time, just take me. Don't stop, okay? I'm sitting in the car, and the police showed up, and the paramedics were there. So I don't know, 10 minutes maybe. I don't know. I had a K car. Anybody remember a K car? Okay, yeah. They're all metal, okay? And no cushion. I mean, all he had was a seatbelt, right? Cop looked at me and said, "You didn't have a seatbelt on, you'd be dead." Okay, but you're talking to me. You can see me. That's fun. If you ever go on public transportation and you're bored, you sit next to somebody and go, "Hi, how you doing?" You can see me. It kind of freaks him out a little bit, but then you got to explain. He's just having a lot of fun. They took me to the hospital. I'd have stitches right here. I hit the mirror. They went through my body, scanned it, and no internal damage, nothing. Well, back then, I was training and running marathons. I think I had a body fat like 2 or 3%. But if you can imagine, I'm 5'9" and I was 127 pounds. Okay? Yeah, I could turn sideways and disappear. So, but they said, no, you're good. So I'm sitting there. And people don't understand my humor. When I try to describe myself, I tell you, I'm the guy, the Viking ship, the rower. I'm the one the drummer's yelling out, "Will you get with it? You're messing everybody else up," okay? I'm always off a little beat from everybody else. So, my fiance, my wife now came in. I said, did my mother call, tell I'm wearing clean underwear? You all know what that is, okay? Always about wear, okay, and there was a joke, but, trying to tell I'm fine, okay? She picked me up and went back to her place because I had no car. It was gone, okay? I think they made it to a soup can. But anyway, it was gone. But when I was talking about what happened, and I know people afterwards, they said, "Well, how come you never said anything?" Well, I was in the Air National Guard. I had a top secret clearance. I was working for Hughes Aircraft Company. I had a top secret. Anybody know what SCI means? A special category. Okay? That's a black program that you hear about people trying to get clearances for. I had that. If I go in there and start saying, "Hey, you guys wouldn't believe what happened. I had this wonderful event," I would have lost both those clearances in 1991. Okay? They would have had me under investigation. They would have suspended my clearance. And depending on who's doing the clearance, I may never gotten it back. So I kept quiet. So I did talk to my wife. And I said, "You know something?" She said, "What's that?" I saw a real beautiful palm tree at the trunk. I saw red. I think of red. I don't know what color they were. I just know that they were what I think is red. People, I'm colorblind, green and red. Colorblindness is genetic. You inherit it in the mother's womb. I cannot hallucinate something that I've never seen. Okay? Sometimes NDEs. You might be saying, oh, all right. God says, no, I need to send you back. No, I want to send you with a lesson. And this was Divine's way of saying, you know what, Rob? You need to tell people that they don't need to belong to a religious order, that I love them just the way they are, that they're still part of my family. And people don't know, I applied to become my master's program. And out of 330 applicants and only 60 openings, I got in. And everything started changing after that. Okay? Didn't mean everything was okay, but everything started changing. And I went, wow. I got to be honest with you, I had that one experience. I was sitting in the car at my wife's place. And and I sat there and I said, if you don't want me to be a social worker, what do you want from me? I'm open, but just, I don't want to stay working for a huge aircraft. I was never one to make money. I just want to help people. Okay, whatever you decide. Okay. So I walked to the door, and as I opened the door, my wife opened the door with balloons and a great big banner. She'd gotten a letter that I had been accepted to grad school. Okay. Now, Tina and I talk about timing. Timing's incredible. Okay. And if you, and that's what I think NDs, it take you back. It makes you realize how much the divine's been with you, how much the divine has directed you. Okay. How much divine pull you out of things you wouldn't believe we got in trouble with if you'd gone through with it. Okay. So go to grad school, kept it quiet. Me, my partner, and my graduate thesis didn't know about it. When I finally got out and I retired from the Air Force, I had my master's and I was doing social work therapy at the maximum security prison for the criminally insane in California. I can't go easy. God always go for the hard stuff. Anyway. And then we decided to move out here because all my wife's relatives were in New York, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. We come out here in a few days and they all left. I said, is it me? But it wasn't. Okay. They went to Florida. I'm not going to Florida. Look, I grew up in California. I can ski in the evening and the next morning be down at the beach. I'm not going down where a bunch of humidity and bugs. So I told her when she can carry me in a jar, I'll go to Florida. But that was my near-death experience. It was so profound. To be honest with you, I think I was in shock a little bit. It took me a while to really start generating what was happening. Came out here, and one of the things I'd gone to, I know you guys haven't heard probably of, it's called Biola University. It was considered the second most conservative and prestigious Bible Institute of Los Angeles. And I said, I'm going to be a minister. Yeah, right. Guess what? I came out here, and there's a thing called One Spirit Seminary. It's a 2-year program, you can once a month, 1 week in a month. And I went there. I went there 63? Yeah, 63. Still working on it. I just wanted to get it. I wanted to say I got it. And in the seminary there, the first October, it started in August, but October, there's a guy named Locke Kelly, Lockkelly. If you hear of him, he's extremely well known. He teaches mindful living, okay? And it's an incredible experience. He teaches you how to just function from the heart, not thinking, just knowing from the heart, okay? So he's in there with us, and there's about 50 of us in class. And he says, okay, now I want you to drop into meditative state. While you're there, he said, go into your heart. This is my STE, and I'm combining them so you'll understand. I didn't go anywhere about sunlight in this dark area, but in front of me is this real white banner of dead trees and branches. Nobody said anything, but I knew that meant I can't go past that. Each time I want to go, I'm ready to go. No. And so I knew it said you can't go past that. And I could see beyond the other side pine trees. I'm a mountain person, not a beach person. I love the mountains, okay? So I'm looking at that going, okay, and that same message I got the first time. All children are mine. Again, it wasn't possessive, it was origin. And that's why I want everybody to realize, okay, even the most dirtiest scoundrel still comes from the same spot. Well, choices he made turned him into that. And I looked up to my right. Don't ask me. I said, oh, it's you. I have no idea who I said, oh, it's you. Well, just like I was on a friendly first name basis. Okay, hey, yeah, how you doing? Hey. And a love came inside me that I just, there's ineffable words. It's just not there. It's ineffable. It can't be described. And I've talked to my wife about that. It's nothing that you can't give me what I got there. It's not humanly possible. Okay? That later on, my guide, and that's why I'm writing a book about guide. But anyway, told me if I had experienced the full love, I would have died right then and there, right in class, because my body physically couldn't have handled it. Can you imagine that much? Whoa! Took me almost 3 years before I could say the story without crying. So, I've had people tell me, "Oh, well, you know, that's your imagination, or that's wishful thinking." And I always say, "Okay, where's consciousness?" And they look at me, "What do you mean? Where's consciousness? In your brain? You can't even define consciousness. So how are you telling me what happened to me? Okay? You can't even define, you don't know where it's at, you don't know what it is, and you're telling me, oh, by the way, you were just having an illusion." Really? And so what about retrospective falsification? Again, you're trying to tell me what I experienced. You don't have that right. And both these times, I was on no drugs. I wasn't drinking. Got plenty of sleep. There's nothing that would facilitate, especially, I mean, neither one of them did I expect. I was looking for the wreck, that's for sure. And that, I mean, you should just talk. One spirit teaches you all the different religions, so they have people come in from the different backgrounds. Like we had, you know, Sikhs and all different backgrounds. They come in and talk about their faith. I sure wasn't expecting what happened there. I don't know if you guys know, but it's been shown that people with traumatic childhoods oftentimes are more susceptible to near-death experiences than people who are not, who haven't had trauma in the childhood. And when I say trauma, I mean significant trauma. I'm not talking about, you know, watching a brother pee his pants or something, okay? I'm talking about significant trauma, and I have that. A little background. I've had cancer. I lost a daughter to cancer. My father died when I was 12 of cancer. Okay? I'm not going to go much more into that. I just want to give you a background. I'm not coming. I don't use drugs. There's no reason I should have had those experiences. So what precipitates an NDE? I'm not sure, but I can tell you that an NDE is an extreme amount of love. And I have contemplated, that's too bad, contemplated, meditated, any else edited my experience. And when I talk to people who have the same experience, I mean, I start crying too, Dad, sometimes, okay? Just because their emotion. I can feel. So it makes me more empathic. All right. I feel them. I just, oh, yes, yes, yes. It's beautiful. Um, there's two, I don't have in front of me, but I have two videos that are done of me. All right. Um, Again, sometimes I'm not on the road that I think I am. And let me explain. The first one was done, we were in Orlando, Florida, at a conference. Roberta Moore was filming it, and her husband was in it. Tell us you're in DE. And what I told them instead was another ST in my car. I'm going to tell this real quick to you, but you'll understand where I'm coming from. I'm in my car, 1984. I pulled off the ramp where I was staying, which I was sleeping in my car at the time. Been almost to. Anyway, I had tried to hit it, trying to make the wheel wouldn't pull, so I pulled off. I'm sitting in my car, and I'm lower than a snake's belly button. All right. I mean, I am down, down, down. My second wife had disappeared with my 2-year-old daughter and took all my inheritance. I didn't know where they were. I was sleeping in my car, and I had regarnishment of wages against me because instead of paying the tax bill, she took the money and disappeared. So, and I just said, oh, I put my head on my steering wheel. And you guys remember the old flash film when you're in a room and it flashes? You go, whoa, okay? My car, that happened. I went from absolute, depression to I was jumping up and down in my seat, bouncing, screaming, we're going to make it, we're going to make it, we're going to. Nothing changed in that split second other than the car lit up. Took me a few seconds to get my act together. I got to stop pulling the string. I'm going to pull it off. And I can't afford to fix it. So I said, okay, music. So I turned on the radio. Anybody remember Barry Manilow? He had a song that made it through the rain. To this day, I choke up a little bit. I'd never heard the song before. It'd been up, but I never heard it. And it started exactly when I turned on the radio. And to this day, I still get choked when I hear it because nothing changed. I still slept in my car. But I knew at that moment, I knew more than ever before. And what we have to do, we bypass the stuff we're taught because we take on the world. And let's face it, the world we face is constant. These divine interventions can't be constant because we'd be on the other side. All right? So we get caught up with the world again. But I remember that, and I still slept in my car, but I had renewed hope. I said, somehow or another, we're going to make it. We're going to make it. And I was enjoying. Doesn't mean everything's gone smooth since. Like I said, I lost a daughter to cancer. She was only 31. All right? I've had cancer. Had to deal with Vietnam's issues later on in life. But if you have any fears whatsoever, that's normal. Understand that. Okay? We humans have tendency to second guess ourselves. But trust, and I want to tell you, I will tell you what I'm telling you is the honest truth. That when it's time to go, you're going to have this incredible, incredible love go. Where you been all my life, okay? I've been hanging around, but it's just incredible, incredible love. Our personalities don't necessarily change that much on that side. And your guide fits your personality. Mine has a sense of humor. It's a good thing, okay? Otherwise, it'd be on Prozac and counseling. But he has a sense of humor, and I love that sense of humor. And now what I do, I'll be I'm almost 3/4 of a century old. Think about that. Wow, 3/4 of a century, man. Oh, I go around and I tell jokes, and I hand out humor to people. There's a Zen master. I think his first name was Suzuki, but I can't remember who said, "What we have to do here is very important, and we can't take ourselves too serious." Okay, and that's so true. Lighten up, folks. Divine has a wonderful sense of humor. Okay, if you doubt that, look where your nose is. I mean, of all places, stick a nose. Okay, when you get sinus and stuff, where you're like, oh man. So the divine has a sense of humor. I don't see the divine anymore as a singularity. And what I mean by, look, the divine will be whatever you need. Okay, no question says, oh, I saw Jesus. Yep, that's what you needed. Okay, divine will be what you need when you cross over. Could be Jesus, might be Buddha. Okay, Kuan Yin, or it could be anybody. Okay, but we are the products. And as I was thinking here today, it was told, mentioning what I'm going to say, it said, remind him that the machinations of the universe and what the divine is far exceeds our ability to understand it. Your trials and tribulations, that's what you call them. And you know what? Most of them we walk in ourselves. I do not believe our purpose here is to be miserable. I believe our purpose here is to be trained. Okay? We're being trained for the other side. Because you're so important that you have things to do. When you cross over, you're not going to just be playing the harp. All right? Okay? You got things to do, places to go, dimensions, all kinds of good stuff. All right? So you're being trained. Now, I take you back for a minute. Let me just go to high school. Sitting in class, you're joking with your friends. Teacher comes in and says, okay, remember tomorrow we have that quiz. You could hear a pin drop. A quiz? Yeah, chapters 2 through 4. A quiz? Yeah, a quiz. Okay, if you haven't read 2 through 4, man, you really go through with a fine-tooth comb. And surprisingly, our habits don't change that much when in college either. But anyway, when you're stressed or when you have to, is when you learn the best. All those things you're experiencing, all those tribulations that we used to call, okay? I saw something the other day, a little sticker for you guys that said, trials and tribulations don't come to us unless God knows we can handle them. And man, God must think I'm really a badass and I should be able to lift up a Buick, okay? All right. So they come to us because they're in training. We learn better in stress. That's why this is a classroom. This is not a place of handout, fortunately. It's a classroom. You're here to learn because what you have and what you will learn here and what you will practice here will carry you to the next side, to what you do next. And it may come back here. We don't know what our next one's going to be. It may be to come back here because you have people you need to help. Okay? It may go on to other universes, other planets. If you think we're the only species in this universe, that's pretty narcissistic, let's face it, okay? But we're not the only ones in this vast cosmos. You may go there. When I was at one of the always called God the Creator, oh, thank God the Creator. Even back then, I'm like, it's not the Creator, it's creating. Creating, you are part of a creating process of the divine. It makes it pretty damn special. Okay? Very damn special. Now you are part of that creating process with the divine. And what's going to show up is this incredible, we cross over and go, wow. Everyone, and Tina knows, I don't have Tina's skill, but after my STE and one spirit, there for a little bit, I was a medium. And the psychiatrist found out about it and said if I did it again, he'd fire me. So I had to kind of bury that one. But everyone that I brought from the other side, always tell me they're happy and they're pleased and they're in a good spot. But we never make mistake who they are. Okay. I still hear my daughter's voice. She comes in now and then. And the same personality. Oh, Dad, come on. Let's never condemn anyone. By the way, that's the thing you can tell. Your guide is never condemning. You understand? As always, will joke with you to make something apparent. And I'll share that, but it's not condemning. You get condemning, shame on you. That's not your guy. That's not your spirit. All right. That is something else. I'm not saying demonic. I've never met a demon, but some people say there are. So, but that's your own parental tapes. That's not the. My wife had just finished that. Not the secret. The one where if you think you are or think you do, you get it. So think money, you get money. I don't believe that because poor people didn't think themselves poor. All right. People on Skid Row didn't say, "Yeah, I really want to be on Skid Row." See, it happened. How about that? Oh man. But I was out running training for a marathon, and I commented on my guide, "Hey, listen, is it true that you really think and want to be something? You can do it?" And my guy says, "Yeah." Wow. Okay. Now I grew up in the '60s. I always wanted to be a singer. All right. Always wanted to be a singer. You mean I can sing? My guy said, "Absolutely." All right. Now you understand I'm on about mile 12 of a 13, 14 mile run. I'm just good to go. So that's great. My guy says, "It's just not in public." Folks, I can't think of stuff like that. My guy did. I had a woman, if you don't know, but she was a borderline personality, severe. I was the only therapist that had her that long. She went through every therapist in our clinic. She came in, threw herself on my little couch. I had that. I know what you're thinking. I'm fat, I'm ugly, and I've got eczema. Okay, if you say, "No, I'm not thinking that," she calls you a liar. I won't even tell you what she'll do. You say, "Yeah, that's what I'm thinking." Okay. Yeah, I'd have to call the police. Okay. So she put that's what they do. They put you in a position. And I looked at it and said, "I don't listen, folks. I have no idea where this came from. This is my beloved guy that I'm going to hug until in the time." Sat there and said, "Tell her this. What are you thinking now?" She goes, "What do you mean?" "Well, what are you thinking?" "What am I thinking? What am I thinking right now?" And she looked at dumbfounded. "I don't know. I was thinking of tacos. Don't you ever do that to me again, because here I thought I was going to be able to leave this job because you could read my mind and we'd be able to make a fortune. Now I'm stuck here because you weren't telling me the truth." The last time she ever pulled that, and I don't know where that came from. I have no. I remember leaving that day going, "Oh, thank you." And she left for a couple of years, and guess when she came back? Guess who she asked for? Yeah, me. They didn't take her back, unfortunately, but I mean, out of the clear blue. Now, I'm not that bright to come up with something like that, but my guide was there to protect me. And that's why you might find sometimes you're saying things to people that you go, "Whoa, where'd that come from?" Guess who? They're protecting you and teaching you and trying to teach you the skills you need. And excuse me, that's what my near-death experience and my combined came back. In that near-death experience, the same words came. All children are mine. Okay? And that taught me how to love people more. Doesn't mean I like being around them, but I can love them more. Okay? Yeah, I'm still human. There are people that just irritate the daylights out of me. Okay? I can still love them. And when I'm out, and for me, my walks in nature are so rewarding because that's when I really communicate. A spirit really comes through for me. I said, "Well, and this is wrong. They have their issues. Well, why me? Well, why not you?" Okay, look, we're not getting anywhere with this argument, are we? No. Robbie, I already know. You already know. You just complain on your human side. Okay. You're right. And some of you are destined for fantastic things on the other side. I mean, but I grew up in the 60s. If you said, Rob, you're going to have a cell phone someday. A what? A cell phone. Listen, my dad had one of the first remote channel changes for a color TV. Hey, Bobby, change the channel. Hey, Bobby, turn up the volume. Hey, Bobby, turn down the volume. I was that remote, okay? I was that remote. But my dad would never imagine cell phone. He would never imagine analog. He died in 1963. He would never imagine an analog, a digital, anything. All he saw was analog. Microwave? Well, they're around, but didn't see very many of them. Now look at us. You can have your phone on my watch. I can talk to you on my watch. Dick Tracy. Okay. All right. I can. And so my guy was pushing this. He said, Robert, the machinations, and that word means what goes on the other side, is so complex and so beautiful. The human mind cannot grasp. I said, well, how about, and he said, Robert, you don't grab it. Even if I told you everything exactly, you cannot grasp it. The human mind wasn't made. Your brain is a slowdown. It is a governor. All right. It slows you down. You cross over, man, you are sharp. You are quick. You know what's going on right away. This slows us down so we can operate on this plane, so we can be trained. And that training, whatever you agree to, all right, is because I look at you and go, yes. And you agreed, and they agreed with you. So when you think about why is this happening to me, and I've been there, look, cancer and everything else. Remember, okay, wait a minute. This isn't God angry at me. God rebelling against me. Or did I do something wrong? Actually, this is a training session. It's remarkable how things change when you look at it as a training session rather than being a negative. Okay. Yeah, it's not fun. Yeah. What am I trained to? What's it for? Where's it taking me? Okay. Is it uncomfortable? Yeah. Math was uncomfortable for me. I used to not do it. Okay. And why do you hear that? And when it's time for you to go, I want to tell you from what my guys told me is, if you relax and go with the flow, as old cliche goes, it makes your transition so much easier. Just relax. People panic because they're not in control. Okay? When you let go of control, and that's what you learn. When you let go of control, the divine can work better. Just let go. Okay. Stop trying to control something. When it's time, I'm not saying right now, you're on this plane, but when it's time to die, you just go, okay. And you know it, and you all of a sudden you'll be there going, whoa. And it's not painful. I will tell you that. It's not painful. Wow. There are times, especially seeing what I'm seeing right now, I really wish I could go on. Okay. You just notice, by the way, there's it's pretty cool. You never stop learning. But learning is a gift from the divine to us. Okay. When you don't want to learn anymore, you say, I give up, that's when you're ready to die. Yeah, you're done. But if every day I'm reading, well, not Facebook, but the internet stuff. And every day you'll see something going, well, science says this and science says that. And I start laughing. I said, this is just an opinion. I got one too. And that is there's life after death, and it's absolutely fantastic and it's beautiful. And I've been blessed to be privy to it, despite some of the things I've experienced in my life. Okay? So I've been blessed like you wouldn't believe. I told Tina that I said, look, I was entertained in the 84 Olympics. Okay? I was a balloon artist. Can't do it now because I have arthritis and thumbs. But I was a balloon artist. I was on Chicago television. Okay? They put me on live during the Olympics. I had a mime face, a tuxedo t-shirt, a top hat, jeans, and tennis shoes. Did I look like I was going to a party or what? However, the most wonderful experience I had with people. I don't know if people know LA, but that area around the Coliseum is probably about 97% black. At least it was back in '84. I had parked my car 5 miles away. After blowing up 2 gross balloons, they're not gross as ugly, but gross in number, okay? I was exhausted because I did not use a pump. I blew it, tied it up and made it. God, I had a hard stomach. I still have a flat stomach just now that L is silent. Those who can get that, you'll get it in the. I have a flat stomach with the L is silent. Okay. Anyway, I got on the bus and it was all black, and I had blonde hair down to here. Okay. You might be able to see him, but back then you could see him pretty good. I had blue eyes. So I kind of stood out. Even the bus driver was black. I sat down next to a little girl. And she's freaking out. She's maybe 11. So I took out a balloon, started blowing it up, make her a teddy bear. And the lady behind me tapped me on the shoulder. I turn around, she smiles, says, "Don't you think you're white enough already without that stuff on your face?" And that's one of the most rewarding experiences I've had, because everybody, including me, roared on that bus. Remember what I told you about we are the origin of the divine? When you recognize that, you see how the divine makes these truths that gives you apparent and makes them true. And I look back, and that's one of the highlights of my whole life was that, because it was just that, saying, "Rob, look, they're accepting you. You accept them, and yet you are as different as night and day." Yeah. When we get to the other side, oh, there's going to be a glorious number of people that you sit there and go, "That guy was always kind of weird." Yeah, he was supposed to be. Okay, not weird, bad, just kind of, and my jokes want to come up with jokes and stuff. Some people get them, and some people don't. They look at me kind of like, "Ugh." I said, "Okay, well, that's all right. They don't have to laugh." Okay, it's not. If they laugh, that's plus, because I get as much from people laughing as they get the laughter. Okay, and it's by default. But I'm going to put myself. I'm also the Democratic Justice of the Peace in Hebron. Okay, so I still want to help people. I still want to be there. If you don't want to love people, don't have an NDE. Okay, that NDE will put you loving people, because you will suddenly realize the love that you're feeling comes from the divine towards them. And it's the most beautiful, loving experience you can have. It's fun, it's frustrating, but it's also fun, extremely rewarding when you love people and you just reach out to them in love. And they respond back. No expectation. So my goal now is, my wife works for the VBA, that's Veterans Benefit Association. She works at Newington. We're not sure where this is going for her. So we only have one car right now. The other Mike's got, they didn't drive off on it. They just ate the wires. So we had to get rid of the car. It's a 2004 Prius. Okay. What's the value of it? Well, probably about $3,000. Well, how much will it cost to fix? $15,000. Bye. Okay. So we gotta get another car, but after that, I want to work with hospice. I did it before I went to grad school. It was always good. And why? This is the reason why, because you do this with people everywhere else, and it just comes out automatically. And I say, that's the divine. I talk to people, so tell me about your life. What was good about it? Wow. What else? What? And you start talking about the life and how good it is. And I've studied being a death doula. Everybody know what a death doula is? You know what a birth doula is, right? Okay, birth doula. Go ahead. You gonna say something? Oh, okay. Anyway, so one of the things that death doula, what you would do, I can't do it now because my hearing aids. You know, can you imagine, guy, my hearing aids? I can't, if I put the things for the heart in my ears, right? I put it, I'm not going to hear the heartbeat. Oh my God, he's dead. He's dead. And the guys, will you stop beating on my chest? Okay, because I won't hear the heartbeat. Okay. Can you imagine that picture? Okay. But one of the things they said, you put up a white sheet board or a chalkboard or preferably a cork board. And then you start asking people, send him a letter or a card, what he meant in your life. Talk about your favorite vacation. Put his copies of his diplomas, certifications, and the things he achieved. Clippings. Why? Because you start realizing, wait a minute, I've had a hell of a good life. Okay? I've had a hell of a good life. I will sit here with just about anything. But, you know, when I mentioned, I didn't even live with my mother till I was 5 years old. There was no bonding. And we were so poor, she'd buy my Levi's and they rolled halfway up to my knees and put suspenders on me so my pants wouldn't fall down so I could grow into them. All right? So we married when I was 7. He adopted me at 8. He died when I was 12 of cancer. And she became an alcoholic. And why me? Oh, I joined the military. Got a lousy first assignment. So I want to get out of here. So put down 5 places like Germany, England, Spain, Japan. And last one I put is worldwide because I need to get out of there. I go on a 10-day vacation, come back. You're going, all right, where am I going? I mentioned those 5 countries. No, just get yours. You're going to Vietnam. I can't go to Vietnam. I don't have enough stripes. Oh, we changed that rule. We just changed the rule. She didn't tell me to change the rule. I ended up in Vietnam. All right. Came back. My oldest son nearly burned to death. My youngest daughter is the one who died. My youngest son was born premature. Went through a really rough time there. Then I went on, remarried a few years later. She became hyperthyroid to the point that she had a giant goiter. If you don't know what that does, it messes with your brain because your brain starts cooking the brain cells to have energy for the body. And she disappeared with my 2-year-old daughter day after Father's Day. That's when I ended up being homeless and all. But you know what? Let me again talk about the people on the bus that I laughed with. Let me talk again about the beautiful people I've met and talked with and encouraged in my lifetime. The people we've sat around and laughed together. What it feels like when you come through something on the other side. This is wonderful. This is great. Yes, it is. You were just in training, Rob. You're just in training. Basic training. Same thing. They make you hurt for a while. But the goal is for training you, Rob, because you're part of us. You are part of the divine that reaches everybody else. You are a part of that. You are the beautiful part of it. Where you are, I don't know. I look. Only has so many officers per enlisted people. I don't know what I am. Okay? It doesn't matter. I'm part of something that's bigger than me, bigger than you, and bigger than any of us can imagine. And for that, congratulate yourself, because that's how much you loved. You're loved so much. They say, I want you to be part of this. I want you to partake in this. I want you to be part of this wonderful, creative, imaginative thing that we can't even imagine. You're part of it. Where? Doesn't matter, because it's important. Doesn't matter where. You're important. And remember that. And that's all I would conclude like that. You have any questions? I'm really open for any questions you want to ask. But all I say is, with your heart, you can ask the divine. Just don't ask for an NDE, but ask the divine to help you grow. Okay. Those NDEs, they're kind of scary. Okay.
Thank you, Rob. So does anyone have any questions for Rob? Thank you for doing that. Anyone?
Is anybody still awake?
Okay, Kathy, you're on.
Well, I don't really have a question, Rob, but thank you so much. That was wonderful. And I did get almost all your jokes. I think there was one I didn't quite get, but I finally did get it. But what I just wanted to make a comment that, you know, I'm always saying too, that this Earth School, it's like the graduate school of graduate schools. And, but I've never heard that we're in training for the other side. So I appreciated that. I like that. I like that we're in training for the other side. I'm always, you know, always training and working so hard. My NDE was at age 5. So, you know, I've been at it for my whole life. So, so yeah, I appreciate that. That's the gem that I'm taking away tonight among many. So thank you so much for sharing your story.
My pleasure. My guy is the one who taught me that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm grumbling one time. My guy goes, Rob, yeah, I'm training you for crying out loud. Why are you grumbling so much? Okay. Well, I grumbled in basic training. He says, yeah, I know. I heard it then too. Okay. So, yeah, we're in training. And listen, I don't know what, but if you look at the history, you know, like Elvis Presley and all of them, it's not that they were so magnificent. They had skills here that was training them for what's on the other side. But what they're being trained for is no better or less than what you're being trained for. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that's an important thing to remember. Our paths are made for the training. Some paths are made for what we look at, because we're on this planet going, oh, wow, look at them, you know. Aren't they great? And other training, the quiet, remember the old cliche says, the little old lady prays, the prayer warrior produces more than the preacher and the altar sometimes, okay? And I don't know where I'm going to go, but I hope that I serve my purpose well. The vine's never disappointed me, okay? The vine's never disappointed in you. And that's real important to know. Never disappointed in you. Loves you immensely. Ask for your guide. I mean, they're wonderful, okay? They're working on your behalf, whether you recognize it or not. All right? I think I went through one guide already. They were in therapy. Okay. My guy got the shirt draw. Shirt straw.
Bethany, you're next.
Wow. What an incredible experience, Rob, and perspective you shared with us tonight. I'm just so moved. It so resonated with me. You know, I think many of us experience at one time or another this feeling of not belonging. And that, you know, the description that you gave us about pulling us in and training us because you're a part of this, I just really, really moved me so much. Thank you for that perspective. That's just beautiful.
Thank you. You know, in basic training, there are people they weed out. All right. If you're here and you're alive, guess what? You're part of the group. Okay. All right. You're part of the group. You're loved. You're part of that group. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. I made it. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I have another question since no one has their hand up. I have lots of questions. I wrote them down here.
You want to just copy them, send it to me, and I'll send it back.
Well, your experiences have been just so profound. And I wonder, you mentioned 1984, you had a spiritually transformative experience with
in my car. Yeah.
light,
Oh, yeah.
right? But I wonder too, if you had experiences before that maybe weren't,
Okay.
you know, you said you have challenging, like simple things like having a dream that comes true or having out of body experiences, like, and thinking, you know, not really thinking anything of it because it's just part of your normal.
I was kind of a pretty typical teenager in the 60s. I had a motorcycle. And I'd go down the freeway at 80 miles an hour with my arms like this, and I just shift lanes with my weight. I'm a teenager. I'm infallible. Nothing can happen to me. Well, one day, and coincidentally, it was another left turn. It had sprinkled lightly, and in LA, you get a lot of oil on the road. And I should take this a warning. I didn't see it. It turned yellow, so I gunned the motorcycle. All I remember is being in the air, and the motorcycle and I were literally just laying parallel to each other. And the next thing I know, I'm sitting in idle on the side of the curb. There's no way I could have recovered. There's no way I could have recovered. There had to be a divine touch in there, okay? Same time as a teenager, I got some blood clots underneath my eye. My wife, my mother kept waiting. Finally, she said, well, we need to check him out. She took me to the doctor, emergency room. They look at it, did surgery. They said if you wait another day, he'd probably die because the blood clots were gone from there into his brain and killed him. I've been right on the precipice of things. And then I look back and went, oh, wait a minute. Emergency appendectomy. Okay. I don't want to. Never been to surgery before in my life. All right. 1984. Couldn't keep water down. I said, gee, I'm having a problem. I go in. I park in the visitor section because I didn't want to take away anybody's parking spot in the real emergency room. Okay. I walk in. The one says, okay, lay here a minute. She comes back, doctor comes back about half hour later, says, we went to meet you. I said, how come? She goes, we gave you a morphine shot and didn't even touch you. She says, we knew that much pain. Well, it was appendicitis. The doctor said it had grown underneath my lung. If it had burst, I probably would have died because I would have done what? I would have felt better. Okay. And the poison would have got in my system, and the probability of my recovery had been very remote. And I look at these things, and I just go, you know, there's some poor spirit on the other side putting up all this stuff, okay? But I sounded from age. I have a memory, real small one. And you know, people have NDEs have a tendency to repeat them. I don't, not the same one, but I mean, are more susceptible to near-death experiences. I remember being, I think about 5. I just remember being on the beach. And next thing I'm laying on the beach with people around me. And I looked up and there was a very big tall figure. And Tina might know it. Standing not over me, but behind some of the people looking at me. All right. I got caught in the water. It pulled me off. Laid me down. 1955, it's harder to find people that would rescue genetic equipment. But I came to and I saw that. And then when I closed my eyes and opened up, that person was gone. I think I've been blessed to recognize in the past all the little connections. So many of them we don't see. I have relationships. Oh my word, my poor guy, brothers. Okay, I got you out of that one, didn't I? Okay. And I look back, oh my God, my life had been so negative had I been with that person any amount of time. And I almost walked into it. You see, the miseries usually are short. We get presented with opportunities. Our decision determines where that opportunity goes to. All right. That's a free will. You also have free will to love people, to reject people, to laugh with people, or cry with people. But when the divine puts you in that spot, it's your free will what you want to do. Okay? That's part of the training. That's the reason why sometimes you screw up so much. Okay? I asked my guide, why did my daughter go for her 31 years old? Okay? She had 2 little daughters. Why? She fulfills what she needed to do here. Okay? So what about my dad? Why did he have to die? He was 33, by the way, when he died. Okay? And he said, Rob, why do you think he came down there? Now, my dad had a number of medical issues too, but what do you mean? So what would you have been had he not been? Oh, I'd been a basket case. Oh, hell, I've been probably in jail or dead, okay, or strung out on drugs. Says, yeah, and what did he do? Well, he believed me. Yes. Yes. He came down, Rob, for you. He saw your potential and he came down for you. That was his job at that time. Okay. Why did you go so soon? What did you learn afterwards? That I didn't want to be an alcoholic. He said, that's right. And he said, what else? Then I found out that my quote biological father was not my biological father, it's somebody else. I was 67 years old when I found that out. DNA, okay? Guess what? My biological father was also an alcoholic. That made me a precursor to alcoholism. And yet the training kept me from going down that road. Being trained. Okay.
Amazing. Amazing.
And I don't know what's going to happen. And I said, God doesn't waste much. Okay. Just doesn't waste much. He doesn't need to. Okay. Whatever he's training me for, all I say is let it be for the better of all. So for those who follow, one of the things about 2 years ago, the divine said, I want you to add this to your prayers. Let the meditation of my heart and manifestation of my being reflect the divine will for all, divine good for all. I said, wait a minute, are they doing the same thing for me? And my guide laughs, if they don't have to, Rob, I'm here. Okay. All right. Okay. He wanted me to remind me. For you, all I love you guys, all of you. I don't know Patrick. No, but I love you guys because you're part of my family on the other side. Okay? You don't look like me. Okay? I got a half brother that doesn't look like me either. But you're my family. And you're here. And I don't know which one of you guys might be part of my group on the other side that we're doing things together. But I know this much. We'll be doing it in love. And we may come back and may meet you again. Okay? So it doesn't matter. I'm hoping, at least this time, let me be loving. I'm a divine, and the guy said, what if I send you back, Rob? What if you come back again? I said, just don't let me be arrogant. Don't let me be selfish. Let me be kind and generous and loving. And I'll just comment this one here. It taught me so much. I had a person come in who was mid-range of being retarded, okay? What we call retarded. I don't know more, but that's what we refer to that. He sat down and he had a regimented life. He had a roommate, his father, he had a social worker and also care worker. He'd work 3 days a week, 4 hours, and he'd go bowling every Tuesday night. His mother died, so they brought him in, and I was thinking, boy, I sure want one life like that. So remember I told you, divine. Some lessons hurt, but some lessons are. And I looked at him, and I'm thinking, oh, boy, how can you do? And like I said, are you happy? And he goes, oh yes, I have such a wonderful life. I am so happy, folks. I was underground in humility at the time. Okay, and I went, whoa. Who am I to make the determination who should be happy and who shouldn't? Or whose lifestyle's better and whose lifestyle's not? Okay? Every lesson I get that makes me more humble and more caring and more loving is a training. And every time I complete that, I pass that session. I go on to the next one. And it doesn't stop. You're not going to stop. If you don't like training, too bad. You're going to be in it till the day you go home. Okay? But the training comes many ways, and sometimes they're such a blessing and they're so beautiful. They're so beautiful. And I'm looking forward to see what you guys are going on upstairs. Okay? Let's say upstairs, I mean the other side. Okay? Where the plane is, you'll see. Okay? And I hope we remember each other. Oh, I remember you. Yeah. Okay, good. What are you doing? I'm doing this. The whole. Okay? All right. I know I'm not being trained for auto mechanics, but I don't know what else. Okay.
Thank you so much, Rob. I so appreciate it. I know there's other people with their hands up. So
Yes, thank you. Bethany, we might come back to you if no one else, but we have 3 people here. Patrick is the first one.
Hello, Patrick.
Okay.
Oh, Rob, I really enjoyed your story. It's really pretty profound. And I just wonder, like, I enjoy how you had the NDE and then the STEs that connected with it and kind of helped inform more about it. I think you briefly mentioned meditation, and I wonder, do you have any practices that help you kind of get in contact with source, or process these downloads that you get, or even your guides?
Well, my guide, after you just talked, my guide's there. Okay.
Yeah.
And he sometimes interjects my thought. Okay. I didn't ask for that, did you? Okay. Well, all right. As far as meditation, okay. The only thing I can tell you is, all that stuff we set up. I mean, I've got a little prayer thing. I've got a Buddha on there, and I've got the Jewish symbol, and I've got the Christian symbol. I incorporate all faiths. Okay. I like what the Dalai Lama said. He said, "What's your religion?" He says, "My religion is love." Okay. So I really like what he said, and I incorporate that. I like candles. I have a bowl. Every time I do, my guide laughs. I'm like, okay, Rob, set yourself up, because we don't need to use those. We do that for us, because we in the living flesh need that setup, okay? Because otherwise we look, they said, well, what about religion? I said, man didn't invent religion. God would have had forced it, because the only time people ever talk to God is when they go to church, okay? And God said, I tell all the time, why do you wait till Sunday? Everybody shows up on Sunday. I'm here all the time, okay? And so I have it, but I know it's a setup for me to make me focus, to get me to focus where I need to go, okay? Not to touch base with the divine, because the divine's there. It's me to focus. And when that happens, and listen, I got some music I listen to, okay? Whatever brings that calm, if incense does, that's great. Candles, it's preparing you, because we're so limited. Oftentimes, to really get in that mindset, we have to prepare ourselves and go into it. And that's how you do it. And is it the divine that's fickle, or me? It's me. Okay. So, I really want to touch with you today. Why is it so quiet? Guess what? It's not the divine, it's me. I'm not in the state of mind I should be. I'm not thinking the way I should be. I'm agitated. I'm hungry. All the things that make me human affect the way I meditate. But I never feel like I'm alone. I always can just go, hi, it's me. Okay. And just talk. Because that's prayer is what? Communication with the divine. And you can do that. I do that when I'm walking. I do what's called walking meditation. Okay? I'm just saying, oh, look how beautiful this is. And if you want, to acquire the divine, elevate the divine, let the divine know. Patrick, if I buy you a sweater for Christmas and I never see you wear it, you think I'm going to buy you another sweater? No. Acknowledge the divine. Thank you. And my guide, near the end of my prayer, I always say, I love you. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. I love you. Thank you to my guide, because it's been so good for me. Okay. So good. And that's what I said. Understand that setup is for you, the human side. So when you're ready to say to whomever you're talking to, help me get to the place where we can communicate. See what happens. All right. That's all I was going to say. Hey, help me. It's me. I think everyone, it's not you. I said, oh, yes, it is. It's me. It's just some breaking up, I understand we're breaking up, but it's not you. Then why are we breaking up? It's got to be me. Okay. So it's the same with the divine. The divine's always there. It's us. It's us. But that doesn't mean it's disapproval. I understand. Sometimes silence is part of the tool they use. Like a child, sometimes you don't intervene with the child because they want them to learn the experience firsthand. Sometimes the silence isn't the divine pulling away from you, but the divine sitting there going, Okay, Patrick, I give you up to now. Let's see what you do. What I'm going to give you now. Okay.
Mhm.
It's abandoning you. Okay. Loves you. Would never abandon you. Okay. So, okay, you got a dog, Patrick?
Asking me? No, I don't have a dog.
Okay, so I just saw something today that said, whoever invented the doorbell didn't have a dog. Think about that for a minute. Right?
I've had one, so I get the joke.
Ring the doorbell. Where's the dog go yelling? Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Whoever invented the doorbell didn't have a dog, obviously, because otherwise he would have made a doorbell. Anyway,
Right.
laugh. That don't take it too serious. Your experience are meant to train you and to lift you up and motivate you to move forward. It's an attaboy.
Mm. Thank you so much.
Patrick.
Thank you so much.
Great question. Glenn is next. Glenn?
Where are you, Lemon?
Hello. Hey, Rob. Thanks for your talk tonight. Very
Hey,
good.
Erickman.
Glad to hear you. Glad to hear your emphasis. I loved your focus on love and on the training. The love thing, that was my foundational experience, love and forgiveness, my personal thing. And it's just the gift that keeps on giving, right? So,
Yep.
the more you give, the more you get, I guess they say.
That's not always. Sometimes you get something back, but not what you wanted. Okay. People don't always interpret what you're doing as love. Okay.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. The training thing, I was trying to make some sense of it. It seemed relevant to me, but then I realized just even today, I was trying to talk with someone about an experience I had recently, and it flows in with my meditation and other practices about like, why did this happen? And just hearing the repeated message of it's all training, I think is useful. I needed to hear that. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, brother.
Well, even listen, I have 20 years in the Air Force. Even in the Air Force, the training, sometimes you repeat it. I've had 6 driver ed courses in the military in 20 years. Okay.
Okay.
And I have a heavy foot because I'm from LA. But other than that, okay, I've been but I see where people are not trained well. But if you get trained enough, then you become a master in your field. So if things keep coming to you, it's not to say you didn't learn your lesson. They're honing it. They're making it a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So he's going, well, here's happening again. They're trying to make you better at it.
Oh boy, I'm going to be really good one day.
Yes, you will be. You'll be a master. Okay.
All right, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Glenn. Greg, you're next. Greg, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Oh, how did I turn my camera on? Okay. Here's a joke. My dog kept chasing people on a bicycle, so I took his bicycle away.
Yeah.
I throw one.
Actually, the same joke I heard is my door and said, and then report your people are chasing people on bikes. We have bikes.
Right.
Keep laughing. Listen, people are going to come to you, and I get it all the time. Oh, I heard that joke. I write some jokes, okay? And then sometimes they go, I heard that. They don't want to laugh. It's like, that's okay. They don't have to. You don't get somebody who laughs. Remember, I told you the first joke I said. I went out to play frisbee. I need a flatter dog. Okay. I went through Starbucks. I told the guy to look at me for a minute. I think he started laughing so hard. He said, "Thank you." That's all you need to do.
I don't know.
This is who I am. Okay. Whatever that is, be you. And it's like I've run 10 marathons. Okay. Why? Because I could run good. I couldn't play football. Okay. I couldn't play basketball. So I could run. And I was good at it. And I kept doing it. And I was pretty good at it. Right. I
Well,
can't write-
I will remark that what you said about the divine has a sense of humor, because that's what I was going to reflect on. There's two moments in my life where I felt like in a way, I think it was like kind of like the divine saying, "Hey, you can talk to me like one of your buddies in a way." And I'll give you an example. One time there was a big concern going on, and I was driving and I was praying, I guess, and out of nowhere, I heard this like voice, kind of like a thought. It said, "Chill the," and then expletive out. I got this. And I was like, what? It's God using profanity? What? But in a way, it got my attention. Like, dude, chill. Like, this is, whoa, did I get your attention type thing. Another one is I was talking to somebody about prayer, and I said something like, what would you say? What would you say if you were to say something to God right now? And they said to me something like, I'd actually be pretty angry at him because of the way things have gone, or something like they said. And I felt like a laughter in my head. And they're like, why are you laughing? I'm like, oh, because God's saying, yeah, you wouldn't be the first.
Exactly. If you've ever been in a conflict and you use humor, what happens to the conflict?
What happens to the what?
What happens to the conflict? If you have a conflict, argument, and you use a bit of humor, what happens to the conflict? If it's appropriate humor, it diffuses it. When divine uses humor, sometimes it's because woe is me, and then divine will throw some humor in there, and you go, okay, and guess what? You're out of the woe is me, because the humor will take you out of it. Okay,
right.
I used to use humor in my therapy practice with people. And I'll never forget the one guy. He came and says, "I need to get a second job." You're retired, yeah. Okay, and your wife's will, yes. And she's got the car, yes. But I was thinking of a job like a pizza delivery. I said, "What are you going to do? Use the bus?" "Oh, hi." She said, "The bus comes by in 20 minutes. I'll jump on the bus. I'll bring you pizza to you." And he started laughing because the image. Okay. The one I had today, I did a past life review, and I found out that I was on a Viking road ship, and I was doing real well. And you might like it, it definitely is. And I said I died on the ship. So what happened? Well, the drummer decided to play Wipeout. The song Wipeout. Da, 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 da. Can you imagine now that picture that the drummer on the drum with the guy playing Wipeout? So, and I started laughing. I said, that's a Far Side joke, isn't it? That's a Far Side joke. That the drummer started playing Wipeout, and you're rowing the boat. Okay? And if you're over 30, you have to hear about Wipeout. Okay? It's one of the most quintessential surfing songs ever played. But they have a drum solo that's so recognized, one of the best, where it really flies on the drum. I was getting that picture in my mind, and I started laughing. Of course, I'm kidding you, Ross. But I got your attention. You were being a birdie. You weren't staying. Stay with me. Okay. And you can do that. That's the key with divine. If you can stay with the divine more frequently, it makes your life a whole lot better. And that's hard to do. But if you can, it gets better and better. Keep being you. All right?
All right.
Anybody? Michael, you're smiling. You want to ask me something? That's you, right? The new guy.
Yeah, I smile. Yeah, I smile a lot. I smile a lot. Yeah.
So you look like you're smiling. That's good. Keep the smile. Sometimes you'll be surprised that simple smile will just turn people around. Okay, it does. It just turns them around. A simple smile, holding the door. Okay, people smile. Well, I got more proposals after I started doing stuff like that than I ever thought in my life. Hi, you married? Yes. Oh, okay. Oh, you're a gentleman. They don't expect that. I get my age. Look, my wife once said, "What do you do if I pass away?" I said, "I'd stand on my front porch with a baseball bat." He goes, "What?" I said, "Think about it. I'm retired. I have a disability. I'm at Social Security. I'm well educated, and I'm a heterosexual. You don't think those women be charging at the door? Okay. All right. Wow, he's got money. Wow. Okay. So that's whether you're gay or not. I mean, it's just, it's a population come to you. But it's the ability to see in life the humor of where you're at, and also the ability to appreciate where you're at. Because whether you're in the septic tank or you're on top of the moon, you're there because you're in training for something greater. Okay?
Mm.
There for something greater. And that's the thing. You know why we can't know what we're being trained for? I asked my guy one time, "Why don't you tell me?" He says, "Because you screw it up." That's right. I'd screw it up. I asked how many of you know your guy's name? I don't know my guy. I said, "Well, what's your name?" He said, "I'm not going to tell you." "Well, why aren't you going to tell me?" He says, "Because if I tell you, words have powers. So if I tell you my name is Fred, you're going to imagine what Fred looks like. So if I tell you nothing, you just accept me as the spirit that I am." "Oh, your name Fred?" Say, "Hell no, my name isn't Fred, but I'm saying if it was." Okay. Well, like I said, wherever you're at, it's part of your training to move you forward to accomplish bigger and better things. Okay? All right? Divine never sends us back for negative, always sends us forward. Even the worst of people, if they come back here, he's not sending them backwards, but he's putting them in position again to learn what they didn't learn. Okay? And that's us. Okay? If I try to understand physics, quantum physics, I'd have to take the course probably about 40 times. All right? But after the 40th time, I'm getting it. Does that mean I'm a bad person? No, that's just not my gift. That's not what, okay? Same as divine. I think the Buddha said he'd been here 10,000 times. Okay? I've had my repeats. I know a couple of them, but I've had my repeats. All right? And I don't want to do it again, but hey, they don't make mistakes on this side. You only do it on this side. Okay? They don't make mistakes. We do. We make the mistakes. But that's okay. They still love us. Nice. You can't do that with humans. You screw up, usually people judge you and usually I say, "Oh, you're human." I've had my guy say that. "Oh man, I screwed up." My guy said, "Yeah, I know. You're human." And I just start smiling because my guy knows I'm human. My guy still loves me. I'm the one who beat me up, not my guy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Rob, so inspiring. I know it's after 8:30 and we generally close the meeting at 8:30. So I'm going to stop the recording now.
Thank you. Thank you, Rob. Great job.